Welcome to A Drop of Happy, where we focus on carefree, stress well, light and lively living while reviewing and discussing all things entertainment and wellness. I am your host and your stress management advocate. I would like to say your entertainment guru, but I'm just going to say your entertainment junkie because I'm not really a guru. I just read a lot and watch too much. And I really don't read enough anymore. Anyway, I do want to talk about wellness, and I do want to talk about loss and survival after loss. So August 12th marks my 20 would have marked my 25th year anniversary of being wed. I say would have been because I've been a widow for 16 of those years. And I I sometimes write, y'all, like I be writing stuff or, you know, um, so I write these Sinkane poems. I write them very sporadically. And obviously, this was when I was in my feelings. If you don't know what a Sinkane poem is, it is a 5-line poem with specific syllable requirements for each line, very similar to a haiku. It's not a haiku, but it's kind of follows the same idea of a haiku. And every now and then, when I'm in my feelings, when I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I will write something. So the title, this is an old blog post that I am reviving, and the title of it is called "The Revival of Self: A Follow-Up to Missing." Missing was something that I wrote when I was not in the best of ways. I wrote Missing in 2018, and at that point, my husband had passed in 2009. I wrote Missing in 2018. But I wanted to do a follow up to it. It was very important that I did a follow up to it. So that is what the revival of self, a follow up to Missing. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, right? So, Missing, this was the poem I wrote, okay? Missing. There are bits and pieces of yourself left inside of me, yet the puzzle remains broken. That's just how I was feeling. I will post a picture. I will post the poem, but y'all could take that however y'all want to take that. But clearly, I was not in the best of feelings or feeling myself or whatever you want to say. I mean, I really don't remember the exact circumstances at that particular time that caused me to write it, but I know what it stemmed from. It was just a quick note to my late husband, who I had traumatically lost. By that time, 2018, it was like 9 years. So, hey, 9 years, I'm still writing a note to him. Well, I mean, yeah, 13 years later, I still write journal entries. And now 16 years later, loss is funny like that. Being a widow is funny like that. But I'm in a great place. So I think that's why I wrote in 2022, The Survival of Self. The words of it struck and stuck with me, though. Loss loss is one of the most difficult and stressful situations that we can go through, right? And the reality is we really can lose ourselves in the grief of loss. We have this ability to create an environment of loss and just sit in it, like just be sitting in the pocket, despondent, while the world around us is moving on. Like that's just a reality. Like we can do that. Don't get me wrong. We can get ourselves up out of it, but there are times when we can just sit in the pocket of loss, even when life is passing us by, or even when we look like we are actively engaged. Like we can look like we got it all together. We can look like we moving and grooving. We can still be still. That if that makes sense. because that space of loss, it's like you're it's like you're a pocket, a pocket, like where everything else is going on around you, and even you're going on, but like your soul, your mental, everything is in this little pocket of space. And healing from loss is really no small feat. So if you're in the process of it, if you've done it, if you've been successful, I am so proud of you. I commend you. If you're in the process of it, I commend you, like, because it is hard work and it is one of the top stressors. Okay. And please understand, I'm not only talking about the loss of a loved one per se. I think that's the heaviest loss, but it could also be the loss of self, or really anything we hold dear. It could be the loss of a future you thought you were going to have. It could be dealing with the loss from a breakup. It could be dealing with the loss of friendship, the loss of who we once were, the loss of a limb, the loss of safety and security. It grief can You can grieve over so many different things. Keep in mind that the loss of a loved one can sometimes encompass and create ripples of other losses in one life. I really don't think people think about that. When you lose a thing, it does. It creates like ripple effects of loss that you, as the individual who lost that thing, have to deal with. In the aftermath of loss, we can really feel broken and in a fog to ourselves. And sometimes, you know how they say time heals all wounds, time heals all things. Sometimes time alone is not enough. Sometimes time alone is not enough. Sometimes, we gotta do the work. We have to process. We have to go through the stages of grief. Just sitting in that pocket, because sometimes, because of that pocket of loss, that's what I call it, the pocket of loss. Sometimes we can be in that pocket and time can be going on, and we can look like we're going on with time, but we are not healing. We are not. So time alone is not always a thing. Does it help? Of course it helps, but it's not always a thing. And I really needed, with all that being said, I know it sounds really bad. It sounds gloom and doom. But with all that being said, I really wanted to and needed to write a follow-up to Missing, because I didn't want to leave my readers at the time, and now my listeners, I don't want to leave like leave us in a despondent space, leave us in that pocket of loss, because I want to provide hope. And I want to let you guys know that we can get past that. No, as how stressful it is, we can definitely get past it. The reality is that there are times when we will still feel broken, or we'll still feel like something is missing. Especially like, even, if you lose a child or a parent, or whatever the loss is, there are times where it'll still hop on our back and be like, hey, there's still this thing that went wrong. But the thing is, staying in that broken place is not an option. Staying in that broken place is not an option. Healing and growing are really the only alternatives. Because what you gonna do? You just gonna be there? You just gonna be stagnant, and you just gonna die? You just gonna die too? You just gonna be lost as well? You gonna stay lost to yourself? That is not an option, y'all. I'm from somebody who's been through some things. That is not an option. I feel like it bears repeating. Staying in that broken place is not an option. Healing and growing are the only alternatives. There is a revival of who you once were. And although that person may feel different or react a bit differently, but they are still you. You are still there. They are the you that always was, a little different. They are the you that has learned to adapt. They are the you that wakes up every day and lives life even when you may want to simply stay in bed. They are the you that you are reclaiming, right? And did I write a little ditty? Did I write a little? Ooh, yeah, I don't feel right saying ditty anymore. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, focus, focus, focus. Did I write a sin cane to follow up? Of course I did. Of course I did. And this one is called Whole, and I actually made a mouse pad for it because I needed the reminder. And it's whole. I coat loose, fragmented bits with new memories as I mature into myself again. I just, and I think that's the reality. I'll leave it. I'll post it, and I'll leave it for you to interpret as you will. Take it as you will. But that was the follow up because it's a growth process, and it may not feel like you will come on the other side, especially when you're in it. Whatever the loss is that you're grieving, sometimes it feels never ending, but I promise there's another side. There's another side where you can reclaim who you are, you can reinvent yourself. The options are limitless. Oops, the options are limitless. And the only thing you are responsible to do, again, is to not stay in that pocket. So I'm gonna close it out. Live light, stress well, all that good stuff. But I'm gonna close it out with reading the poem one more again, one more time. Whole. I coat loose, fragmented bits with new memories as I mature into myself again. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe. This is just a happy drop. Just a little boop, a little boop. Doesn't sound very happy, but it's meant to get you to that happy place. Live light, stress well. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff.